In this video, I want to talk to you guys about the rotation in the golf swing, both on the way back and on the way through, because the rotation in the swing is what's going to help you get power and consistency throughout the golf game. That means driver all the way through the wedges. You got to be moving in the right order, and you got to be moving in a way that's going to be repeatable, that causes less compensation, and it's going to make you a better golfer really, really quick. If you're moving in the wrong order, it's tough to get power. It's tough to be consistent because you get out of balance and stuff like that. So what we want to talk about, and at the end, I'm going to give you a drill that's going to help you get comfortable with the sequencing that we want. But when you're turning back, you're trying to get a lot of power. You're getting in a position to get back through. What happens a lot of times is people will start with the lower body starting the backswing, and that gets you out of position, gets your weight on the heel and the outside of the trail foot, which makes it almost impossible to get through the right way. When you turn back, you're going to be starting from the top down. Your shoulders move first, and everything's a chain reaction on the way down. When you're at the top of the backswing, it reverses. Everything starts from the ground up, and that's going to let you get back to the ball consistently. So, what I mean by that, let's break that down a little bit more. So when you start back, your shoulders start to turn, and that's going to move your arms, and that's going to move the hands, and that's going to move the club head ultimately. What we want to do is create a separation between what the upper body's doing and what the lower body's doing. As you get further back to the top of the swing, your hips turn, but they turn as a reaction to what your shoulders are doing. What I see a lot of times is people just turn back, their right hip or their trail hip gets a lot higher than their front. When the foot gets up in the air, they get on the outside of the foot, and that makes it really, really tough to get back to the ball. So by moving in the proper sequence, getting everything moving back, you're not getting this compensation with your right arm having to collapse because your hands are getting across your body and you're having to reach across. So you're able to move back. And then, like I said, ultimately here, it starts going up to the top of the swing. You start to build that torque, and now you can turn back through. If you're on the outside, you're deleveraged. You can't push back through, and you get vertical and over the top with this move. So as you can see here, I've put a alignment stick through my belt loops, and this is going to help give us the visual and create a drill that's going to give us the correct sequencing and a good way to check what we're doing. Like I said, when you turn back, we want to be turning with the upper body first, and that's going to move everything in a chain reaction down. So what I want you to do is set up, and I want you to put a club behind your shoulders like this. Again, the alignment stick through here, and we're trying to get a separation where your shoulders are moving first, and then your hips ultimately start to turn. We want to make sure that you're getting the separation, but when your hips turn, they turn level. I don't want to see this. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a left hip's going to go down a little bit. The left side's going to get a little bit lower as you turn back, but it's not a dramatic move. When you get that dramatic move, you get inverted and you're leaning back toward the target, and that's going to make it tougher to turn through. So we're trying to get the separation. Shoulders go first, then the hips start to come. When your shoulders turn enough, you're only so flexible. Your hips have to move, but they move again as a reaction to what your upper body's doing. Weight goes to the instep. Then before the downswing starts, the hips start going through, and that's going to bring everything through. It's like I said, a chain reaction from the ground up, pulling everything through. And then you're going to do some practice swings and try to get that feel with the separation. Hips go first. You can see out of the peripheral vision, the front hip or the lead edge of the alignment stick starts to get out of the way. Then your arms can come down. Just getting comfortable with separation, then come through. As you rotate through, all the weight goes to the heel of the left foot, your trail knee goes to your front knee, and then you stand in a nice balanced finish position. Once you get comfortable moving in the right order, and you can take that alignment stick away and then make some practice swings, again, really focusing on the proper sequence of shoulders, core, legs, and then reverse it, legs, core, shoulders. I want to draw your attention to some key points here. I put a line down the outside of my right leg, one under my knees, one on the inside of my front knee, and then a line up from my toe on my front foot. So as I turn back, we talked about turning the upper body before the lower body does anything. You can see how much my shoulders move before my legs and hips start to react. So my hands are already behind my trail leg. I have a lot of shoulder turn here already. to be this early into the swing. And then my hips start to move because, like I said earlier, you're only so flexible. Then your hips move, but your knee doesn't dip down. You can see that my hips turn pretty parallel to where they were at setup to the ground. So I'm moving around and not up and down. Now here's where my hands are at the top of the backswing. You can see my legs are going to start to go through before my hands really go down at all. This is getting that separation between what the upper body's doing, what the lower body's doing. You're creating more power and you're getting that proper sequential motion as you move into impact. That's going to let you get a good transfer and you're not going to swing in too steep. You can retain all the power, contain the lag as you're rotating through. This is going to help you hit more consistent golf shots as you rotate down and through impact instead of just using your upper body getting steep and lunging at the golf ball. Now let's take a closer look from down the line to see what's going on. So what I did here is I drew a line up the club shaft, one on my right leg, both the thigh and the lower leg, and then I put a line on my hips. As you turn back, again, the upper body moves first. So you can see the lower body not really doing anything, and while the right leg straightens out a little bit, it happens because your body turns, you're still keeping some flex in that right leg. That allows you to keep the weight on the instep and start the downswing from the ground up. You can see my legs get basically back to where they were at setup by the time the hands are above the belt. And you can see my right leg at setup is covering the left leg. And I'm getting back to that point because my lower body starts the downswing. As I rotate through, my left hip stays back where it was at setup, and my club shaft is back to where it was at setup. This is going to allow you to get to impact more consistently as you rotate through, and you're going to create more power in the process. So again, keep the flex on the right knee, rotate through, drop off the instep, all your weight moves to the heel of the left foot, and you continue turning through, and you're going to hit it way, way better. Hope that educates your game. I'll talk to you soon.